of this man, Shahab Dashti, a German jihadist. He had come from this nondescript mosque in Hamburg to an al-Qaeda camp in Pakistan. He wanted to fight US forces in Afghanistan. But Mauritani told him to go home and launch attacks in Germany. Dashti never made it. He was killed in a drone strike. And that's become a familiar pattern. Al-Qaeda recruits from Europe, even America, reaching Pakistan's Badlands, and US drone attacks trying to eliminate them and their mentors. One such recruit, Bryant Neal Venus from Long Island, New York, a Christian convert to Islam, radicalized by firebrand friends and what he read online.
So over the last 10 years, that's led to an increase in the types of material that we're seeing, and almost, if you will, an arms race of competing sophistication for making their material more accessible.
And that's the new Al-Qaeda. It's different branches pumping out their jihadist message online. Perhaps the most influential, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula and its charismatic mouthpiece, Anwar al-Awlaki.
We know that they continue to plot against the United States and against other Western countries as well. So the situation in Yemen remains a serious one for us.
Then there's al-Shabaab in Somalia, drawing recruits from as far away as Minneapolis in Canada. The growing strength of Al-Qaeda in North Africa, a stone's throw from Europe. It may yet benefit from the unrest in Tunisia, Libya and Egypt, making the job of counter-terrorism even more complex. The lone wolf.
You have all of the related AQ groups, all of the terrorists, all the Islamist groups, and so we have to watch out for them, and we have to watch out for lone actors.
Times Square bomber Faisal Shahzad was one of them. He had training in Pakistan, but when he came home, acted alone in building his abortive car bomb. But he was an amateur, and building bombs, according to Al-Qaeda recipes, is an inexact science.
The mixture which I'm making is one which I don't have great confidence. Some of them will probably injure the person making them.
But the danger is that eventually someone will have enough training and ability to build a deadly device. Najibullah Zazi, an Afghan living in Denver, came close.
If enough people get hooked on this sort of publication, this particular publication, and practice what it preaches, then some of them will succeed in causing the havoc and harm that they set out to do.
It's not just another attack that worries this former top DHS official, but the sheer volume of soft targets. Malls, hotels, power plants, rail networks.
If I was still on a job, I'd be very worried about today, Al-Qaeda exploiting those vulnerabilities, because, we have a lot more work we have to do.
10 years on, the battle against Al-Qaeda is very different, but far from over. And I think we can...
The plight of black immigrants in conflict-battered Libya is one of nightmare. Many of these young men from sub-Saharan Africa say they are being punished for the actions of other non-Libyan mercenaries who fight for Muammar Gaddafi. We have their concerns portrayed in this piece.
More than 1,000 sub-Saharan Africans languish in the heat, shaded by abandoned boats, outcast victims of Libya's war. The Red Cross has been handing out supplies, but those who are living here say their initial treatment wasn't so generous.
Well, we are here almost 5 days now. But the first day, they bring us here in the morning, they beat us, ask us, are you involved in this war? We told them that no, we didn't involve in this war. They beat us, the same thing we told them, we didn't involve in this war. We are here for work.
They are from places like Chad, Ghana, Mali or Nigeria, and say they're being punished for the actions of other non-Libyans, mercenaries who fought for Muammar Gaddafi. As the fighting raged, rebels reported hundreds of mercenaries on the front line, imported by the Gaddafi regime to fight for money or promises of a better life. CNN interviewed such fighters on several occasions. This wounded man told us he was from Chad. His dead companion, wrapped in a blanket next to him, was too, he said. Another wounded fighter said the same thing. But Libya has for years had a history of using migrant labour, and those workers are now being lumped in with other foreigners who fought on what became the losing side.
I've lost all I have. All I've worked, I've lost them. I'm homeless now. I am moneyless. I don't have anything. So I can't go back to my place. So I need the international body to do something of this ugly situation.
Some of those here talk of men with guns coming, choosing women and taking them away. To be raped, they say.
We are scared. Our life is not secured here.
Aid workers say many of those here have been waiting for weeks for a boat home or for someone to simply believe them.
We have submitted a report with recommendations, and we remind all parties that it is very important to respect these people and to protect these people.
In a downtown Tripoli office building, Benghazi Brigade rebels sift through the passports of detained men from Mali, Somalia, Chad, Gambia and Ghana.
It is possible that we pick up anywhere from 50 to 100 people daily.
These men were detained and brought in for processing. They say they too are migrant workers, not paid fighters. But those doing the processing say they'll have to prove it. If they can't, they'll be kept in custody, eventually to face court. What court and when they might go there, they couldn't say. Michael Holmes, CNN, Atlanta.
Well, from Libya there, we go for another short break.
Looks for Fletcher, and that's 1-1. Defoe. Oh, magnificent finish. Bent in towards Doyle. It break for Doyle. Sandro. Oh, good try. Wonderful goal. Wonderful cross. Walters nowhere. Off the post and in. Oh, brilliant. Pavlyuchenko. Osman stepping away from Rashina. Drilled in brilliantly at Bonda Hall. Wonderful goal.
Just to remind you, you can also follow the day's stories and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you also have the opportunity to monitor GRTS Radio Live. And before we draw the curtains on this edition of the news, a look once again at our top stories. Local NGO officials and state actors have convened an interface to discuss the power of civil-military partnership in tackling national security threats. Traditional medical practitioners have called for the conservation of medicinal plants as Africa's heritage at celebrations marking Africa Traditional Medicine Day. Memories of September 11 and the subsequent war on terror are back in the spotlight just days before the world observes 10 years since the infamous terrorist attacks on the U.S. And black immigrants in conflict-stricken Libya have been relaying tales of persecution as they pay more crimes for allegedly committed by non-Libyan pro-Gaddafi mercenaries. That does it for this edition of the news. Thanks for your time and do have a good night. Bye-bye.
Assalamu alaikum. Fi mo yel hela. Dama bokon ci raful gi de xawma nak naka la.
Da nga bëgg xam ni mu demee.
Wa nu fa demee.
Gis nga el hela bi. 41022 bi. El hela ko fi indi. Safal ko ba mu saf, neexal ko ba mu neex. Bo déggati rek bi lay tax ñuy wax. El hela bi moo tax ñuy wax 41022. Borom el hela nak neena gannaaw bu yéen a koy jënd warga wi di ko naan mu baax ci yéen ba dee nee na mu delloo leen njukkal naka paquet yi soo ko amee téeméer nga ñëw el hela boo dem nag ci réewi Gambia bi foo xam ne fii rek am nañ fa makkaan soo fa duggee joxe fa sa téeméer ne tekk nag toog déglu weer bu dee bu nekk ak fukki fan ak juróom bu nekk ci la ñuy def raful bi soo winee dinañ la oo ne la win nga foos bi nag dina win saaku maalo seconde ba dina win bidon ngi diwlin taat ba nag dinañ la jox keesu drink boo xam ne boo ko naanee xam ne drink la déedéet kay maa la wax lii ah lii neex na di dara naan sa warga wu neex nag gis nga warga dafa bari waaye bokkut el hela 41022 bii dama ne bii rek la bii dong la dama ne réewi Gambie jóg leen naan leen te jël carton ñi dajale ko ku ko fi bàyyi sa njëriñ ku ko romb sa njëriñ 41022 bii el hela ko moom maa la wax ni
You shake my undertone. You